this exhibition brings together 13 collaborations between artists and scientists that arose through the STUDIOTOPIA project, a European Union funded project which created situations for artists and scientists to work together to address complex and urgent questions around climate change and ecological breakdown and crisis over a series of residencies over more than a year. And this exhibition presents the fruits of their research, of their collaboration.
Pleased to be part of this interesting project and a collaboration with two fantastic scientists, Chris and Emilia. So one is volcanology, just in the world of physics, listening what is going on in the earth, basically, using seismographs, the way they can actually perceive the senses of the earth. The another scientist we collaborate is Emilia, and she's a neuroscientist, and she specializes as well in how sound and smell behave in our brain. So in some way, one listens the brain, and in another way, the another listens the earth. So compare that two way of listening. My question in the project is, how if consciousness is to be aware of what is going in our surrounded, why we are so unconsciousness of our reality, why we are so unconsciousness of what the planet said.
It's our science project that's been really, really interesting because I've been looking at the Arctic Circle, you know, and the glaciers as they melt. They are releasing the boglands underneath, and they're emitting certain viruses into our air that have been lying dormant for, you know, thousands of years. And I've been tracing this inquiry with the Permafrost Institute in Siberia, with scientists in Ireland, and I've been using the Irish boglands as a sort of laboratory and a site to be able to explore how these changes inside the ground are impacting our air. So I used the plants from under the line and above the line in these boglands, and because over time they become gaseous, and I used them to make the inks in order to create the images. So I also took samples from the air from over a methane lake in Siberia, and I created inks from that. So the images are created, pushed through these viruses and through the material matter of the plants.
I started to work for STUDIOTOPIA residency with two conservators, art conservators. I mean, the focus of the work is on memory in a way. I mean, we had many directions to follow, and here what you see is just one. Somehow it's about the parallel between houses from Delta Danube and the Romanian side, which are made in natural materials like wood and clay, and they somehow disappear in time, becoming like a big grave. And I put somehow in parallel. I use ruins from the same area of prison from 60s.
In this exhibition, we're interested in seeing what happens when artists and scientists work together, what kinds of new questions are asked, what kinds of new alternative knowledges can emerge when we get away from very kind of atomized thinking towards finding connections, drawing on traditional knowledges, traditional ways of thinking. So what happens when artists and scientists come together and work together, and they find new connections and they create new questions?